Very often in our exam question, especially in paper 1, we have a situation with a volume of area that in itself is not a function, but in the process we change that into a function. So let's have a look. And the reason why ultimately are we doing that? Because we're going to be creating a derivative. So that's ultimately why we are doing it. So in this particular question, the net of closed cylinder with a radius x and a height h is cut out from a rectangular sheet of tin. The width of the sheet is 20 centimeters, and we can see that 20 centimeters, x is the radius of the cylinder and h is the height, and that is the net. So the first thing they're asking us to do is to use this information to write h in terms of x. So now writing one letter in terms of the other letter. So what can we say here? What is connection between x and h? The only information that is numerical that we have is that 20. That 20 is all of that length. In that 20, from here to here, we have h. And then here we have what? Radius, radius. And the same here. Radius, radius. So that 20 is h and 4 of radius, isn't it? So then we move that 4x to the other side and we have our expression. And now in the next part, they are saying, oh, now therefore, look at the volume of the cylinder can be written in that way. And as you can see, that is a function of the volume and x. And that's the reason we needed that first step, because the volume of the cylinder is what? Pi multiplied by radius to the power of 2 and then multiplied by a height. In this form, it's not a function. But if we're going to replace our radius with the x and h here, we're going to replace with the expression with x. Well, therefore now we have only two letters, volume and x, isn't it? So here, how do we get here? We multiply brackets. So 20 multiplied by pi multiplied by x to the power of 2. And again, minus 4 multiplied by pi multiplied by x to the power of 3. So that's how we arrive at that. And usually when you see a shape in your paper 1 that refers to volume or the area, that's usually what will happen. First, you're going to be replacing one letter with another, and then the second step will be taking a formula for the volume or area that isn't a function in itself, but creating a function out of it, because ultimately we're going to be looking at differentiating that function.